Flory Models Daily Show. Here we are on Friday the 17th of June 2016, and what a week. You know, I thought this week was going to be a doddle for me. I thought, right, we've got the roofers in, so really can't do much, obviously filming work, so I thought we'd just take it easy, do a few jobs, tidy up everywhere, you know, get back on top of everything. No. Absolutely not. It's been absolutely manic. I've done more this week, I think I did last week, and last week was somewhat of a record. I think we put 9 hours of video out online last week, so this week it was like, God. Anyway, basically my day started like this. Hello, good morning, welcome to Flory Models Daily Vlog. Well, yesterday, what a day, fantastic. I absolutely thoroughly enjoyed it. It's not every day that you get to build something like this in one day. You know, normally I would be tackling a project like this, I'd be looking at it, and it'd probably be a couple of weeks work if I'm honest. So to set yourself a goal sometimes of saying, right, okay, you've got one day, it's all I'm going to allow for this for filming purposes, so you've got to do it, actually works really well, and it inspires you to just get on with it. And also little things like we did with this one, you see in the full video, was little new things you pick up as you do it that you think, well look, what have I got to lose? I'm going to give it a whirl. So the big thing with this one was a case of, right, coming in and saying, right, it's got holes all over it, it's resin, it's not the best casting either in the world. I've got a feeling it's a copy of a copy of a copy. So what's going to be the quickest way to fill it all? I know, we fill it full of lacquer. And because the lacquer is 2-pack, it's got a hardener or an activator, it will go off, we won't have to worry about it. So it's not like going around and having to put in filler and waiting for filler to dry. I was really concerned that what we were going to have is trouble with perhaps cracking and peeling because the thing's drying at different levels. So I elected to go down the route of using lacquer, so we had lacquer thinners in the paint and all the bits and pieces. I have to say, it worked an absolute treat. And as a lot of you know, I do a lot of airsoft, so I've got a lot of, you know, full scale, 1-to-1 scale guns and all the rest of it. And the one thing is, when I picked this thing up this morning to have a look at it and check it, I was like, oh my God, it's so light, because you look at it and it looks heavy. So this metal effect we did on it with the bluing that I was trying to get, it works so really well. And it was something when I was doing it from day one, I was thinking, how in my hell am I going to recreate that sort of metal bluing that guns have? Because it's a complicated process. To try and recreate it in plastic or on resin, I just wasn't sure how I was going to do it. It's a case of, oh look, well, I haven't got time to overthink it, we're just going to get on with it. And that's what I did, and it worked an absolute treat. But thank you very much for allowing me to do this one. Thoroughly enjoyed it. And as I say, it's not just, don't think I'm just Star Wars. I know, who was it who mentioned about, you know, didn't like it? I'm going to name and shame you now, somebody down in here. Paul Morgan. Paul, what is wrong with you? Disappointed, sorry, just had to say, Phil, I think the subject matter of more Star Wars affected my decision. You have to look past it. You know, yes, okay, it's a Star Wars blaster. It could be anything. Okay, it's just literally what we're talking about here is how to work with resin. This is solid resin. There's nothing else on here but resin and paint to make resin look real. So look at it from that point of view, because that's how I take this. This could be anything. It could be a Cindy doll. It could be a horse. At the end of the day, it's how to achieve a finish or a certain look when you're working with something perhaps you don't traditionally work with. And as I say, we have worked with resin. Yes, I do use a lot of resin, and on the commercial side of things that I do, we use a hell of a lot of resin for various projects. But from a point of view from the hobby, there's lots of you know, limited run kits out there, garage kits, things like that, which are resin because it's easy to manufacture and produce for the hobby. So it is really doing that. So if you ever wanted to know about using resin, there you go, because we show everything from sanding, filling, gluing it together, painting it, priming it, and all the different techniques to get it up. So you know, I'm not, you know, having a dig here at you, but look at it as a broader picture. Don't just say, oh, it's Star Wars, I hate Star Wars, so I'm not going to have anything to do with you and I'm never going to watch it. See it that it's working with resin. You know, maybe you never worked with resin, but obviously I think it's quite an important part of the hobby, especially for upgrading sets and things like that, and how to make resin look real, and that is the goal. So it doesn't matter if it's a gun that we've done there, or if it had been a ship or a horse or a doll or a figure. It's the same techniques and the same principles that are going to apply right the way through. Literally like making up concrete filler to fill bubbles and stuff like that. There's all little techniques that hopefully you can get right the way through. But thank you to everybody else. So we've got pages and pages of people saying you loved it, you liked it. From my point of view, it's great because, as I say, we were using the live studio, so I know the quality isn't quite there as much as perhaps it should be. because at the moment my computer is the limiting factor that we have behind. It is a good computer, don't get me wrong, but it's pushing its limits, and as we mentioned when we were actually filming this, I was getting messages coming up saying high CPU usage. I think what it was because it's running all day and it just doesn't like doing it. As you know, we are going to have an upgrade. We will be getting the 1080 cards. I'm going to have two 1080s and SLI in there and all the rest of it on the new system, and hopefully that will allow us then to step up again into 4K recording, because all the cameras are capable of it, but there's always going to be some limit around there, and then hopefully that'll be cleaner and everything else. And again, with the audio quality as well, you know, because we were multi-directional and with the hammering, I used a smaller mic, so that's why it was a little bit tinny compared to the normal Rode system we use for our normal mics and everything else like that. So at the moment, to be honest, we can show you sort of live here, and then this one over here is Redditing the cut down shortened version, which is still an hour. So it's a 1 hour version for the cut down version. So this is going to be the free one, which non-members can watch as well, and everything else. It's going to be loaded with adverts, okay? But it's just a little concept so I can get feedback generally all over the place, okay? So that one's going to go out probably tomorrow, not today. Members, you're going to get the full one today. So I've managed to sort of rejiggle it a little bit. And it's rendering last night, so it took him forever. So I've got it down to just over 2 hours, which I think is an acceptable one. Okay, I took out some chunks of me just sanding and doing boring bits as well, because really you don't need to sit there and just watch me sanding and doing those things. So generally, that's going to be up with you in a couple of hours. It's actually up onto YouTube now. They're sitting on it and rendering it and all the bits and pieces, as you can imagine, going through it like that. So they're getting on with that one. And then obviously the shortened version will go up, and then I'm going to do the ultra short version, which will talk about literally filling resin as we did on this one, using super glues and kickers and talcum powders and things like that. And then obviously we'll talk about priming resin, and then obviously painting it, and that's going to be down I think to around about a sort of 20-30 minute video. So that'll be the shortened version of this one as well. So that'll be your 3 versions of it. You're going to have a half an hour version, a 1 hour version, and then the big 2 hour version with it, which I think worked really, really well. And as I said, give us your feedback on it. If you love it, then we'll do more of these types of things. If you don't, then I'll just go back to doing what I normally do. So that's about it. Now, to be honest, I was hoping the roofers were going to be down the other end of the house redoing it, but at the moment they're currently above me, and they are doing the ridge tiles, setting them up and repointing the chimneys and the various things. So it's still pretty noisy down here, so I haven't got time to do, or I haven't got the moment to do any more on the Osprey, which I wanted to do just to finish it off. It's literally about half an hour left on that one. And the kit reviews, as soon as they move down the other end, which they're going to be doing hopefully in the next couple of hours, and then I'll get on with the kit reviews and we'll get those done, edited, and they'll be up with you a little bit later on today, like that. The other thing as well, I know loads of you bombarded me about my stash and can you have certain bits and pieces. No, I'm going to sort that out probably in a minute, to be honest. I'll take the camera with me and you can have a look around. I'm going to make a giant pile, I'll list it, price it, it's literally going to be cheap, and all the rest of it, and then if you want it, basically just either post up in the thread. It's going to be in the buy it now, the buy and sale area on the forum. Okay, just shoot one in there, but literally shoot me a PM via the site, and it's first come first served on it. Shipping is going to be completely at cost. If it's over 2 kilos, i.e. if you're going to do multi-buys and everything, it'll go by courier. If it's under 2 kilos, obviously it'll go via Royal Mail parcel, and then I'll let you know the prices, but prices will be totally at cost. I'll even include the receipt for the postage in with it, so you can see what you've paid. All right, so that's how that's going to work. I am going to be quite ruthless. I've got a lot of stuff in there that it looks great, but I'm never going to get time to go around and do it, and I am running out of room, so we need to get a lot of it sorted. All right, so I'm going to do that right now. So there we go. So that is this morning going along. Again, thank you for all the feedback. Wonderful job. As I say, sometimes I'll do new shows and that, and I just get a handful of feedback, and you think, oh, really, was it worth it? So it's nice when you guys actually let me know you physically like it. I know I keep hinting at it, but it's your motivation keeps me going, if you know what I mean. So if I don't hear from you, it's very sort of depressing, and you think, was it worth it? I've just spent, you know, a whole day doing something, and you get, that's good, back, you know. I know the partner does it, but that's what they do. Okay guys, I'll catch you all at lunchtime. Okay, so here we are, 1:15, busy day. To be honest, up now is your blaster video. Okay, so members, you can see this one. This is a 2-hour one, is up there now, and some stills which I've taken from the actual filming of it. These are just literally off the video itself, going right the way through in the various stages, and obviously we'll be putting them up around the site and everything else like that. And so this one I've managed to edit down to about 2 hours, so that is up there now. It's in the usual, the videos area. So if you click in here, it's on a bit of a glow slow today, but there it is. Okay, it's up next to the Fokker Wolf. click in there, and that brings you up now. Now the cut down version of it, the 1 hour version, which is going to be the free one, is going up now. 63%, it's going to take 20 minutes to still go up. That is uploading onto the YouTube right now. Now, other thing is, loads and loads and loads of you have been asking about kits that I'll be getting rid of. There's a clue, that's them. I am desperately needing something here. That's just a few of them, to be honest. There's a load more upstairs as well that I've gone through. That's my first cull batch, which is going out there at the moment. So a quick run through. As I say, they're going to be in the buy and sell things. These are all good ones. They may have been opened. These could be review samples as well. So we've got the FE, F5, MiG-29UM, SU-27. We've got the Denim F3, Yak 38. Part's going to get bigger. The Panther. Did have a plan for that. Delta Dart. We've got the Special Hobby Vigan. What else we got? We've got a Sea Hornet. We've got Spitfire, because let's face it, I've got loads of them. I've got the Edard versions as well, so it's not a lot of point of paying that one. We got another one, okay, the 109, okay. 72nd World. We've also got the Zvezda. What is it, MiG-29, okay. The thing is, a lot of you asked about the Star Wars stuff. No, that's not going. I am definitely keeping that. So yes, that's the plan. Now, builders have gone at last. So that's them out of the way, which is quite handy. So what that enables me to do is actually get on to some filming. The only thing is, I've still got to do your orders, and to be honest, there's a load of them. And then I want to do one of the reviews. So what I'm planning on is probably going to do, which one am I going to do? Which one? I tell you what, I'll do the MiG-27 Flogger. Okay, we're going to do that one. I quite fancy doing that one myself and all the rest of it. So there we go. Now I've got to find a home for this thing somewhere. Keep moving it. It always seems to be in the way at the moment. Anyway, we'll pop it over there. But thank you for all the feedback. I've been going through the forum. Absolutely magic. Glad you loved it. Glad you liked the format. And say, go off, watch the video. Tell me what you think about it. I know the quality isn't quite there because I've actually watched a little bit back. So I was doing some paperwork and emails and things. I have watched it back. And yes, it's not as sharp as our normal because, to be honest, when we do the live streaming, because we're trying to get it down the net so quick, we tend to do it at 720 in a lower sort of bit rate. So it's actually not at full 60 frames at 1080 as we normally do. So it's a little bit less, it's a little bit crunched. But to do it again, I think we could up it and do it all in 1080 so you won't notice any difference. The only thing that annoys me, which is something I'll look into fixing when I get 10 minutes, is the bit when we switch cameras, you get that thing that says no signal because it's using obviously the card inside the PC for streaming all the video from the HD cameras, because it's not like webcams and that, it's proper cameras. So I'd like to fix that one. But it seemed to go very well. I had no problems doing it and all the rest of it. I could try and do other things with it. If I could get rid of that slight bit of pinch in there, we wouldn't have a problem. And I'll tell you what, this is me, how my mind thinks it's terrible. I'm actually going to do the review that way. Okay, and what I'll do is I'll edit out that bit where the screen goes blank. So what I need is my trusty remote for the cameras, because what has shown up today, mail time, is these guys. Now I'm hoping what is actually in here, let me just see so you guys can see what we're getting. So actually in here we should have, if I've got this right, oh, I tell you, this is what you mean by you miss it by a single day. This is going to be, I do believe, judging by the weight of it and all the rest of it, what I was hoping was going to be here yesterday when we did the build. So, would you believe, these are too big anyway. That's okay, they're too big. Forget that. But I did order some of these. And I was thinking that this was the size that's on the bottom of this guy over here. Oh, tell you what, it's not that far out. It is the correct size. So this is actually the actual hex nut that goes in the bottom of the blaster right here. Because obviously there's no detail, because trying to cast it, you can't cast the hex. So what I wanted to do originally was to drill that out, and we were going to super glue this bolt into here because it's got a hex on the end in there. And would you believe it's just shown up? So that's just absolutely typical. One day late, but it's all little things. I can drill that one out and we can replace it. Okay, but I love going on eBay, I'm terrible for it. And I'll see these little things, I think, oh, I better get some other sizes. So I just buy 10. And they probably think when they're picking it, 10, who wants 10? But that's me, so I've got that. And then I'm hoping in here, a little mail time thing today. Aha, right. So these little guys here are, now these are adapters for going into the camera I'm shooting you on for SD. So these actually, they move, they actually bend as well, so I'm not going to break the camera doing it, but the whole point is I can plug this into this said camera. So on Saturday Live and all the live shows, I can use this camera as the close-up cam. Remember we tried it with the webcam? Webcam's fine, but I don't have to mess around with the focus. This, I can literally touch screen the focus, lock onto the point, locks onto your hand as you move around and all the rest of it. But the thing is, I didn't just want a cable hanging out of that because of the thing. So this clicks into 90 degrees and all the rest of it. And to be honest, I've got a couple of others because they lock in 90 degrees, whichever direction you want them to be in, and they twist. So the whole point is, when you've got cameras behind and like the cables coming out, sometimes we get issues with cables pulling and all the rest of it. So that's those two. And then in this bag here, as I say, I was so hoping these were going to turn up yesterday because we have another HD to full HD to not micro, mini HD, and that one there enables this camera to be hooked into that system, okay, and the camera I'm filming you on. So this is where it gets, this is me, I never do things by halves. We've got the big 4K, the huge Canon over there doing this. Then we've got these two Panasonics above, which are the same as this one, it's all the 900 series, okay, above, and you, theoretically, I've got a 5-way switcher box down there. All of these cameras can go in there into that card, so when we're doing any type of live streaming or one-day building and all the rest of it, we can just pick a camera. And to be honest, I was waiting on that cable to do that feed, so then when I was in the bay and things like that, I could have just flick you over and it takes you straight to it. So there's no more of this thing about like having to have a camera in an awkward position and trying to set it up. And when I am in the bay, I can run 2 cameras as well, so I can have you to me and all things like that. Anyway, I'm waffling now, quite excited. So they've got to set all these up now in time for tomorrow morning. I have literally so much to do, it's unbelievable. I have tons of stuff. Plus I've got to make a few phone calls as well and catch up with a few people and everything else like that. So, right, I'm going to give it a whirl at doing this vlog now. We're going to do that one. Tomorrow morning, because obviously don't forget we're not on air till tomorrow afternoon, I am going to do the flap set, which we have right here. And then that will be up with you on Monday. And then, I don't know, at some point I will finish off the Osprey in time for the end of the group build. So still got absolutely tons to do and all the rest of it. So there we go. Right, time to get on. Okay, so there you go. Right, first thing, the kits. Now, I know I'm going to get bombarded right away if I haven't done it already, all right? But what's going to happen is that obviously there'll be a full thing up in the buy and sell area of the site. Obviously it's just for members this, and I'll put up the pricing on there. Now shipping, going to be a bit hard to work out until I actually know, but obviously it will be at cost. I'm not going to rip anybody off and all the rest of it. If it's over 2 kilos, I said I'll do it via courier. If it's under, it'll go Royal Mail, okay? And we do it like that. And obviously I'll include proof of postage with everyone that goes out, so you can see I'm not ripping you off on the postage. All right, so generally that's going to go out. Secondly, sorry about the rant about the blaster and the thing like that. I didn't mean it quite as it's come over. Watched it back now and it's a little bit harsh. As I said, the whole point of doing these builds, I think people just miss the point somewhat. You see it as it's a Star Wars blaster. I'm not into Star Wars blasters. Not really what I was trying to get over. I'm trying to get over that, like, it's resin. Just see it as resin. That's the whole point of this. One day I might redo the paint rack. I might film it for you. I might, you know, as you say, do my drawers. I've got that special foam down there for moulding it like a shadow board. I'd like to do that. And don't, you know, that's the whole point to it. I wasn't trying to go on a rant with it and all the rest of it. Anyway, this week, really busy. As I say, we've got 2 parts of the Osprey went up this week, so loads to do on that one. We've got a whole blaster up there and everything else, complete with everything else going around, and I've managed to fit in a review as well, so not bad going today. Now, the review for this was done completely different to how I normally do it. There's no editing whatsoever. This was done live using the cameras, and if you were actually watching live on our live stream system for Flory models, you would have seen me do it live as well. So what I've done is grab the footage from that and stuck it up on the internet. So anyway, this is the, I wouldn't say a new kit, I do say new tooled kit. It's an upgraded version from the other MiGs that are out that they've actually done. You get a ton of aftermarket weapon sets for it, which is why it's in twice the size box of the normal kit, okay? But if you need anything sort of aftermarket for your weapons, this is the kit to get because it's got the entire Trumpeter 148 Russian weapon set system in it, okay? Generally though, looks a very nice kit, some nice details with it and everything else, and you know I'm a Russian fan and I love anything Russian, so it's going to go very nicely with my MiG-23 ML that I've got got down there. So we've got basically the Flogger family well and truly covered now. So there we go. But you can go off and have a look at that review. Now the blaster itself, this is, every time I pick it up I expect it to be so much more heavy, and I know I keep saying it, but it's even tricking me. Okay, now this is up on the site now. 2 versions of it up at the moment. The third, to be honest, I still need to finish off a little bit of editing to it, because trying to cut it down from 3 hours to 2 hours to 1 hour to 30 minutes is a little bit tricky, admittedly. But the full 2-hour version of this is up on the site now. Get off, got a bit of fluff stuck in there. That is up on the site right now, and then obviously you've got the cut down 1-hour version of this is up on the site as well now. Okay, now the 30-minute flick through one I will probably get done maybe Sunday. Okay, well I get a couple of hours to settle down and do it, because just getting it chopped down time and time again is proving a little bit difficult. Okay, but hopefully I'll get that one sorted for you by early part of next week. Okay, non-members, you can see the hour version of this one just as a little bit of a special. Okay, so that's going to be out on our Facebook page over the weekend as well. All right. Anyway, do have to mention, obviously me and Steve are going to be live with you tomorrow. So we're going to be with you from 3 p.m. British Summer Time till around about 6 p.m. Okay, so if you're in the US, I think we worked out that's between 7 in the morning and 10, depending where you are. And if you're in Australia, midnight. Okay, so if you want to sit up between midnight and 3, hell, me and Steve would be very impressed. Unfortunately, Hans can't join us. Typical. One time we do a US one, he's not around. But anyway, hopefully he'll be on with us in a show we do in your time zone very, very soon. So basically, we'll be working on the dolphins, although I might take a sidestep and work on this a bit as well, because, well, let's face it, I need to get it finished. We'll mention that in a moment. But we're working on the dolphin helicopters. Me and Steve are both doing exactly the same one. He's ahead of me because he's got his tail and everything on there and all the bits and pieces. I haven't, so I need to get on with that one. But basically we're going to be doing that one, answering your questions. Post them up in the forum, please guys, don't stick them anywhere else, because we only see them after we've finished and it makes things a bit of a nightmare. Okay, so if you are, make sure you find the right thread. It's in the site, it's under the live show section, and ask the questions to the teams. Bit in there, you'll find it easy because it gets commented on a lot. It's always up in the levels, but basically post them down there and we'll get us through, well, all of them. We've never been failed yet. Okay, that's why we end up with, we're on there for 3 hours. So join us on Saturday for that one. We'd love to have you there. As I say, Saturday afternoon, so we're now the Saturday afternoon / evening show instead of the morning show. Anyway, so that one is up with you. This one, the Osprey, brings us to the next thing. The I Must Be an Animal group build, the big one, finishes on Sunday night. Now, no if, buts and maybes. I don't want any begging things saying I couldn't upload the photos and all the rest of it, because you've had loads of warnings on this one. It's going to close Sunday night, okay? When those doors close, that's it. So if you do want your fantastic medal, I've got the car stickers back, I've got normal sticker sets, and I've got some sanders coming to everybody who completes. All you've got to do is get your completed build done, and obviously you must have done a good, well, not good, but just generally a project showing your work in progress through the entire build as well. 1, 2, miss a few and you're done doesn't count. It has to be the full build right the way through, okay? But that's going to end on Sunday, and then next week you've got the 2-seater double SIG. I'm seeing double, I think it was called. SIG is going to finish. Now there's no prizes or any bits and pieces for that. That's just a straightforward build, but obviously there will be a reveal video for that one as well. So we've got 2 ending within the space of a week, okay, which is pretty good going for us. And then next month we're starting the 1st of July with the Big in Japan one, which I think everybody's really looking forward to. Okay, so that'll be quite a good one to get going with. So after a monster week, massive week, when it should have been a quiet week, next week I'm going to have a quiet week, I think. Definitely. I'm going to slow down a little bit, do some flat works, and then try and tidy this lot up, but you'll see it in the vlogs anyway. So anyway, thank you for joining us. Thank you for being with us this week. Thank you for all your great feedback doing the blaster work. It's great to get the feedback. I love getting the feedback. Trust me, don't think it, tell me it, because some days if you just get, that's good, might as well ask Mel. And things like that. So anyway, that's it from me. Please join us tomorrow. If not, I'll catch you next week. So until next time, everybody, happy modelling. Take care.